Well, today's the day. Last time I will ever be able to log in to Word Divisions. It's been a great 5 years, and sad ending to that. But we do hit a sort of semi today. 1650. What a
Lilith,
way
I
to
challenge
end
you to a match with that ball.
So, I am going to showcase the account, 5 years of progress I made, and of course, I will end it off with
Ketone,
video.
could I borrow that float?
Mute the game for now. But we'll bring the sound back for the pulls. So, rank 190, very close to 191. Royal rank 10. I achieved it I want to say maybe a week before, maybe a month before end of service camp happened. I was really happy, proud of just how far I made it. I never expected to make it all the way up to Royal rank 10, but it happened. It was really nice. A couple milestones I made. Trying to see if I can find where it was. Fortunately, I never did spend 2.5 million Visior. I actually thought that if I was actually going to hit this because I was so close. But even with the amount of Visior I have, that's not going to happen. Let's focus on the units. We're gonna go by elements so you guys can see where I was, and we'll kind of show you the mastery real quick. So I have I played a lot of had a little bit of ice, lightning, but mostly I'm proficient in water. I enjoyed dark as well. Kind of dabbled in that a little bit. These are kind of my, I would say maybe top 3, top 4 elements. Ice being something, but I mostly cared about the water because it just all fell into place. And seeing if the game had worked out a little bit longer, I probably would have worked on a whole, all of these units, all the ones that aren't finished yet. I would have molded them out to max level. Over the course of time, I was slowly working on this guy, the Veritas of Frost. I was so very close, but never had a chance to finish him. Come down to my wind. Really wasn't a wind guy, but occasionally whenever there was a unit like Green, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna totally go for them. Even if I didn't finish them, because so much comes out. A lot of things on my to-do list to finish. So a lot of those would eventually end up on the back burner of, they're not priority units, but they're units that I will eventually go back and work on when I get around to it. But it's pretty much how I viewed this. You can see Yes. One thing I wish I would have finished was this. I had such a busy. I was so busy at the time when Dragon Quest came out. I had no time to finish it, and then by the time I did, like, get to it, I didn't get the last amount I needed. But it's all right. Again, this is actually a unit that I did finish. I'll probably fill it out before the game's done. All I needed was the board. So yeah, some of these are probably finished ish, but yeah, when it comes down to the water and stuff, I filled out a lot of it, and water was just definitely my favorite element. I'm still sad that I couldn't finish this guy because I didn't even know that he was coming out. I didn't know he was coming out. This is like during a time where I was just feeling so much burnout. And then when I got him, I was like, you know what? I'll finish him one day. And then they announced the end of service, and they gave us that one play, Chamber of Remembrance or something like that. And I thought, yeah, I'll totally be able to finish him. And no, his shards just aren't in that list table. But I was able to finish pretty much just everyone. You see, I was even working on like even the lower type units. I still have these two I would buff out, but it doesn't matter. I'm down to light. Didn't really play light as an element per se. I was reason I never did finish her or even remotely build her. I was not a fan of the idea of her being added to the game. So when I show off the vision cards, you'll also see that all of the vision cards that she came with are also not completed. But yeah, I would have buffed out Dark a lot more. But yeah, this is pretty much the progress that I ended up making. In terms of like equipment, I pretty much farmed about just as much as everything I could have ever gotten. Like there were times where I did stop playing, or I just didn't do the guild raids or whatnot. But regardless of it, I still maintain the same power progression or whatever. I'm still able to somewhat be competitive. We're just kind of coming across lesser in terms of like espers. I did try to maintain everything to be level 99. We get down to these, and I have not yet done these, but I do plan to finish these by the end of the day. Even though the servers are going to go down, it would just make me feel a whole lot better seeing that these final six espers reach 99, and they will. I'll definitely show that off. But yeah, when it comes down to like the vision cards and stuff, I wasn't the type of person to like the type of player to um, buy the hollowed vision cards and stuff initially because I didn't feel I didn't feel that it was worth trying to market these the equivalent of pulling a unit. So if I ever did get them, I just built them over time. It something I just built immediately. It was just something I slowly built, and except for this one here, I intentionally pulled. There were a few where I was like, you know what, I actually like this. I'm gonna go for it. So like, I was a big fan of Final Fantasy IX. I still am. Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite Final Fantasies. It's not my first, but it was one of my favorites. And I pretty much spent a lot on that collaboration. So, as you can see, I built up an empire of mission cards right here. And you got your MRs. And there's very few vision cards in which I did not finish. Very few that weren't finished. Yes, never filled out everything. I never got all the vision cards, but it was something. But yeah, I'm gonna miss War Divisions when it shuts down. If it does get a sequel, I will likely play it because I enjoyed the first game. I would love to see War of the Visions uh, 2. Like, if they ever make a War of the Visions 2, that would be really nice. I just hope that they don't fuck it up. Because, you know, I was critical of the game. And it's not criticism that where I hate the game. I never hated War of the Visions. I was always critical because it was necessary to be critical because I love this game. I want to see this game succeed, and I didn't want to see it reach to the point that we're at now. And I see we got a producer's letter, so I guess I'll end up reading that. But you know, I never wanted to see this right away. You know, we all knew that this day was coming at some point. You know, we would have expected it to be like 10 years from the game's launch or so, but we knew a mobile game like this wouldn't last forever. They never do. They're not like, you know, it's not like playing World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 online. We obviously know that, but I just, you know, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like we're at this point. And I know that eventually, once the servers do shut down, it's gonna hit. And it's gonna hit hard. You know. War of the Visions is not my first mobile game, but it's actually the first mobile game that I actually could sit down and say, yeah, I enjoyed this game. I love this game. It was, you know, I didn't view it as pay to win. I didn't view it as a cash grab on the Final Fantasy franchise as other Final Fantasy games kind of felt to me. I actually felt like this was a game trying to be a game and one to be enjoyed. But of course, you know, obviously, it started feeling like a chore to some people, including myself, which is when it stopped becoming fun. More or less, I think I stopped taking the game as serious. You know, I still kept in the competitive side. Sometimes even joining like guilds that were less competitive or like semi-competitive. But for the most part, I always stuck around for the game for the character aspects. Just collecting the units was fun. even if it wasn't just logging in every day or whatnot. But now that's not even going to be an option. I am glad that the story is going to continue, as I was actually enjoying the story, and it sucked that we weren't going to get a conclusive ending. But now it does appear that we are going to get that conclusive end to the story. But anyways, let's get to this producer's letter. Thank you for playing War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. This is Hiroki, producer of the global version of WOTV FFBE. We are regretfully announced in the game notice and in a live stream held on March 26, 2025. Service for WOTV will be discontinued as of reset of today. As it is my wish to formally convey my heartfelt appreciation to all WOTV players, long-time loyal players, I have prepared this final producer's letter. With the support of each and every one of its many players, WOTV was able to continue for just over 5 years since its release in March of 2020. I didn't play day one. I'll break for a moment to announce that I didn't play it day one, but I did join in late May. I want to say May 27th of 2020. So roughly like 2 months after it had jumped, launched, which was not bad. But anyways, let's see. With this participation of players from around the world during the anniversary fan meeting held online, as well as during the regular live streams held with Justin and I think it says enemies. Sorry. Assistants. The team received all kinds of feedback. During the PvP tournaments held throughout the years, passionate players from all over the world took part in the climatic battles of Unfold. Speaking of PvP tournaments, I used to be part of a few of the Friday night fights that Orange would put on, and sometimes I would even assist in helping people find matches because there would be like so many people jumping in, and it's kind of hard to moderate those. So I took up not as a moderator, but more or less as a volunteer to help out in such cases where it's overwhelming amounts of players that have joined the tournaments, and once things have settled down to a point where it's possible to moderate without any further assistance, I would take a back seat and I would just enjoy watching the tournaments and such. So yeah, it was really nice. It was really fun being a part of those tournaments. It was fun watching Orange actually commentate over shoutcast over the PvP tournaments that were held. It sucks that those didn't continue as much as we would like to have seen more official tournaments and stuff. I still think that the best tournaments were definitely Orange's tournaments, the Friday night fights. Those were always fun. It was then in June of 2023 that we held our first in-person fan meeting in LA after being unable to do so due to the global pandemic, allowing us to meet as the many fans in attendance, speaking to everyone face to face during the meet and greet, and seeing your passion for WOTV firsthand was my joy for both myself and the rest of the operations team. We also had players from all over the world interacting via social media such as Discord, shared fan art, streaming as content creators, and more. And it was a single game called WOTV that brought all of us together. I believe that everyone's words of enjoyment and encouragement, as well as the occasional stern criticism, made the game a special thing that it is today. It was. It was. And I agree with this. The stern criticism, but that was until they stopped listening to the criticism. And, let's when you stop listening to criticism, you try to go on your own path, things are going to fall apart. You know, you can't pave a road without a plan. And you can't do a job efficiently without criticism. If you ignore criticism, then it's only a matter of time before mistakes pop up too much and they can't be quelled. That's the thing. When it comes down to why criticism is important. Criticism today by certain companies is being viewed as a bad thing, as something to avoid, something to be deterred. But it shouldn't. It should not be something to be deterred from. You should not say to people, "Hey, don't give me criticism. Just accept the product, get excited, uh, you know, consume the product, get excited, and get ready for the next product." It you know, if the product is not to the standards that make the game fun, then criticism is going to take place, and people are going to tell you, "Hey, I've played this, I've experienced this, and I'm not having fun, and here's why. And here's what I think you could do to make it fun." And that's pretty much what it is. Now, I understand that there are some people who will give criticism like, "This game is bad, this game is bad, this game is bad," and they won't even give a reason. They'll just sit there and say these things to hate the game. That's not helping. If you're just saying this to hate the game, but you don't give a valid reason of, well, what could be done, then that's not criticism. That's just unnecessary hate. But and we can push those people out, of course. I wish those people didn't exist or didn't do that stuff, because it really does overall hurt um, the important criticisms when those people feel like they're the loudest voice, when they're only like maybe 2% of the community. So there's that. But anyways, let's see. All of us in the operations team consider the community you built to be more than just a group of players. It was like a group of dependable friends. Kindness and enthusiasm supported us during daily operations and helped us overcome difficult times. I would like to once again offer my sincerest thanks to everyone who played WOTV. All of us in the operations team will put forth our best effort until the day end of service. Hopes that you will be able to look back on your days spent playing WOTV with fondness. Gratitude, War Division's producer Hiroki. Now, I don't know if this is, you know, like this if this was put up today. I don't remember if it was put up today, but oh no, wait, it says it was put out yesterday. But you know, it's nice. It's really nice that this letter was put out. Here's to hoping that there will be a War of the Visions 2. I will gladly play that. I will be happy to continue the story and, you know, continue to support the game as I did this one. And I supported it greatly. And the thing is, this Royal Rank 10 does not tell the full story. I mean, I've played on the Japanese server, and I've spent money on those on that server as well. And I've had, I probably want to say like, I've had like 3 accounts. So yeah, I don't remember the royal rank of the main account. I think it was either, I want to say it was royal rank 6. I think that's where it was when I ended up quitting the Japanese side. But I definitely spent a great deal over there. Alright, I'm going to end this and we're going to jump to just silent pull videos. And it'll be my last pull video. So, I'll see you over there. Yeah. I'm sorry this comes very awkward and like slow, slow pacing. It's just, there's, it's a lot to take in. That, you know, the day is here. There's less than what 10 hours left of War of the Visions, and yeah, it's just it's sad. That's all I'm gonna say is it's really sad. So yeah, I'm not sure like if we'll like stick to this pull or maybe we'll go here, but you know I'm thinking about it right now, like where I want to spend the all the Visior, the last remaining Visior I have. Well, I'll see. All right.